What would you say to someone that this isn't speculation and manipulating the market?
That's a good question. It is.
It is, right? It is. Well, if you're showing value of things, are you just carrying on the...
That's a fair point to...
Well, that's really a devil's advocate.
No, but it's also really fair.
Are you just perpetuating it? Let's get back into the mindset of her setup, okay?
Okay.
So, what did she bring in? Tell us a little about it.
Okay.
And then we'll go on from there. Okay. And
Hi, my name is Celeste. Can we do it over? Sorry. Hi, my name is Celeste. Pretty much I came here today to bring heart gold.
Nope.
Not heart gold.
You're good.
Pokemon Gold. Okay, first of all, this is really awesome. I don't see a whole lot of Pokemon stuff sealed like this anymore. It used to be really common. Do you possibly mind if I take it out of the box and take a closer look at it with gloves on, of course, just so that I don't damage it? Okay, give me a second. So, as I'm looking for it, I'm looking for any dents or bumps or any pressure points on the box. I'm noticing one right here on the lower corner, which is not completely uncommon. It actually happens quite a lot, and what sucks is that it could have been something as small as, like, you know, another game just stacked on top of it, and that could have applied enough pressure to dent the box. The seal is in absolute amazing condition. The seal is perfect. I would even venture to say that it's possible for it to even receive a A++, which is the highest possible grade on seals. The front of the game is in absolute wonderful condition. I'm seeing no defects at all on the box other than the dent that I pointed out. It's almost immaculate. The back as well is just in absolutely amazing condition. I'm noticing a crease here on the top right. It's not a big thing. It's just a small defect there as well, but the box is in almost perfect shape.
So I'm looking to sell Pokemon Gold because I do know that it is worth some money, especially sealed nowadays. So I'm just pretty curious to see how much it would go for.
I think, just looking at it, I saw a few things that stuck out. It did have some box damage to it, not a whole lot, but I definitely feel like it's going to be on the lower end of the 9 scale, possibly a 9.0, maybe even, an 8.5, but I feel like it will definitely be a 9 and above, myself personally. Another question that I wanted to ask, would you be okay with possibly selling it today if it was just raw? I mean, just me taking a shot in the dark, here, would it be something that you might be interested in? Like, like let's say I offered you, $800 for it.
I'd pass.
You'd pass?
I would.
You would rather send it in and get it graded and then better determine kind of the value?
For sure.
Because it can go either or,
Right.
Like if it's a low grade, then you have, substantially less. If it's a higher grade, then obviously it's more valuable.
Yeah.
So you'd rather, instead of, taking cash today, you'd rather send it in to get graded?
Yeah, I'd rather grade it. I'd rather take the risk.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right. Let's do that. So, like I said, we'll send it in for you, and then when it comes back, we get the grade back. We'll call you, and then we'll sit down and we'll see what you got, and then I can make you another offer at that point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds better.
All right. Awesome. All right. We'll go ahead and we'll get it taken care of, and then give you a call.
Cool.
what would you spend the money on?
Well, I do have a baby on the way, so that would help. Maybe a crib.
You definitely can't be too excited when you're making offers. No matter how good of a game or how much you want it, you have to be grounded in how you make offers on things like that. And I don't want to be stuck with something that I'm going to lose money on, if I'm being quite honest. And I feel like 800 would be the safest thing to do.
If it comes back at a 9.2, how much do you think you're going to offer?
If she's right around the 9.2 where I expect her to be, I think recent sales on a Pokemon Gold 9.2 was, I believe it was 1550, which is not a whole lot, but again, these are the more common sealed Pokemon games. People do love them, of course, and yeah, it's still a low population in you know, in the grand scheme of things. There's slightly over 100, I think, that are over 9, but 100 copies worldwide is not a big population at all. The thing is, again, people see them pop up and they think that there's a lot. There isn't, but there are just more of those available.
I am hoping that I get a 9.2 and up. I do know that it does go around 2,000 and up, just by looking online and just seeing, doing my own little research. So I want to get around 2,000 maybe. I don't know if that's too far off, but we'll find out.
We got the Pokemon Gold back in the shop today, and I decided to give Celeste a call so that we could take a look at the grade together. And you know, we're really hopeful that she got in on the high end of the grading scale. So, you know, I'm really excited to kind of dig in and see what we got.
So I'm back to see my grade and to see what I got. I'm super pumped, hoping it's a high grade so I could get cashed out. But yeah, this is like a really cool experience. It's very different.
How's it going?
Good.
How was the drive?
It was long.
Long?
Yeah.
You guys are coming out far? Well, I'm glad you stopped back in because we got your game back, just like I told you. Are you ready to check out what grade you got?
I am.
Yes? Okay.
I've been thinking about it.
All right, well, let's open it up for you, but first I'm gonna put on some gloves because I don't like touching anything with my nasty bare hands, so bear with me for just a second. Before we open it though, how much were you looking to get for it again? Please remind me, because it's been a while.
Maybe like around 2.
Around 2? Okay. Well, let's see what you got first, and then we'll talk about it, you know. Right?
Cool.
All right. All right, Celeste, you got a WADA 9.0 A+ copy. Now, I know that I initially predicted that you were right around a 9.2, possibly a 9.4, and potentially an A++, but they deemed it just as a 9.0. It seems like they might have graded really harshly on the dent that you saw on the right-hand side. It looks like they dropped it. They dropped the grade a majority because of the damage up right here on the side and the damage that we had referenced up on the top of the box. But a 9.0 is still good. That puts you at a really high grade along the gold spectrum.
So the lowest I'd take would probably be 2, and that's what I'm probably hoping on getting. So fingers crossed.
I definitely want to be really fair, you know, with everyone that comes in, because I'm not just turning around and selling these things. I really appreciate the value of these items and the scarcity of them, but I also know that there is a large amount of following with Pokemon games and sealed games in particular, and I have investor buddies who will be on my ass if I can get this copy. So what I can show you on the iPad here really quick is I can actually show you your pre-graded pictures for your submission, and these are the pictures that they took when they received it. This is the grade that it got. And this is the submission number and the certification number. Each copy of every graded game comes with a certification number, so you can always look at it and look at the reference photos that it got when it came in. So it's
cool.
well documented
Yeah.
on the WADA website, and you have access to it essentially whenever you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Over here, what we have is the population report for the amount of copies that currently exist in this grade. For Pokemon Gold, in total, there are 182 copies that exist. And in the 9.0 range where you're at, that puts you at a population of 19, which means that your game is actually considerably rare. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what that means for the value. The value on these copies over the years has fluctuated substantially.
Yeah.
They've gone 9.0 A pluses in the previous years have gone upwards to $5,000, $5,000 to $6,000, and as low as $900 to $1,000. With recent price auctions that have closed on both eBay, HA, and other auction platforms, that puts your game currently at a value between $1,600 and the $2,000. So, knowing all that information, what would you like to get for your game today?
Well, considering it's like low population, right? So there's not that many. Maybe I'd want a little more than 2. Maybe I want to be greedy.
Okay. Do you have a number in mind that I could possibly work with?
Maybe 28.
28? Okay, well, in recent auctions, we're somewhere between 1,600 and 2,000. I could meet you right there on the lower end because I'm not going to turn around and sell it right away.
Right.
This is something that I definitely would be purchasing for the store and something to help bring people in. So I would definitely want to get as close to market value as I possibly could. Today I could offer you around, $1,500.
I'll probably hold off.
Probably hold off.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you do $1,600?
I can't.
You can't. Okay.
Considering it's like a low pop, I think maybe I could get more.
Yeah, potentially in the future, absolutely. It's just I have to go off of what the current market
Right.
conditions are, and right now we are, I guess, kind of like on the lower end of that spectrum, just because of the way the market is at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I could definitely, go upwards to $1,800 if that's something that you would be interested in, of course.
Could I think about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, you can think about it. You can definitely take some time and then maybe come back and sit down and then at some point, give you time to consider what your options are for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I'd have to think about that one.
Okay. All right. That sounds good.
So he offered me 1,800. It's close, but again, it's a low pop. I think I could get 2.
I kept kind of bidding it up a little bit, but we still haven't found the common ground yet. I think she's still a little bit hesitant on selling it today, which is totally fine and understandable because it's not something to scoff at. Sealed Pokemon Gold, that's at a 9.0 and A+ sealed, that's a big deal. And today, with it being Pokemon Day, it's a very special occasion because Pokemon's not going anywhere. It's a really big IP, and to have a game like this that's sealed and graded and been well documented, I'm hopeful that she'll come back and she'll agree to sell it today.
So I'd be happy with 2.
2,000.
Yeah, that would make me happy.
Okay, it's between 1,600 and 2,000 would be pushing it. But you know what? For an extra $200, I'm not gonna let it go. So if it's at 2,000, then you have a deal.
Yeah, let's do it.
You'll see it? All right, perfect. All right, well, let's just fill out some paperwork and then let's get you paid, and then we'll get out of here. And you hold on to it until I hand you some cash. See ya?
Okay, cool.
Perfect. All right.
So he offered me 2. I'm very happy. I'll probably just invest for sure and hold on to that. Maybe get more into it.
Thankfully, she came back and we settled at $2,000, which is a bit more than I wanted to pay for it. But with Pokemon, it's always worth spending a little bit extra money. It's not so much because I have this huge emotional attachment to it, which I do. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. But anytime I've bet on Pokemon, it's always been a win for me, and I'm gonna continue betting on it. So thankfully today, you know, we made a deal. 2.
Cool.
So the cash is yours, I'll take the game, and then you know your way back home.
Yes, of course.
All right.
Thank you. It was a
Thank
pleasure.
you. Always.
Have fun with it.
I will, thank you.